If you're a seller or if you're a business owner or you're dealing with the customers, you're trying to get anything done at all, and the person on the other side of the transaction is behaving like a child, we've got a problem. We can't let it stand. We've got to be the adults, and we're going to talk about that next on Purpose Under Pressure. Well, welcome back. My name's Bryan, and this is Purpose Under Pressure. It's a podcast about developing sales and leadership success on purpose and under pressure. It's brought to you by the professional sales and leadership training team at Sandler by the Ruby Group. You'll find them in Akron and Columbus, Ohio, in Jacksonville, Florida, and in Capital Region, New York. They do their work on purpose so you and your team can do the same thing. No gimmicks, no sales tricks or techniques, or they just treat people right. They treat you right. You learn to treat others right, and together you make beautiful sales happen. And that's what you'll find with the Ruby Group. You can connect with them online at therubygroup.sandler.com. So let's get cooking. Today, I want to talk to you about buyers and sellers, and I want to ask you a question. Are you acting like a child? No one wants to be told they're acting like a child, but it's a fair question, I think, because as a seller, I know many times I've been sitting across the desk from someone who wants things her way or his way, only her or his way, and she doesn't get that way. She's going to take her ball and she's going to go home. And it's not right, but it's the way it is. I've seen sellers try to ram their buyers down the pipeline just to squeeze in a deal before the end of the month to help their quota. I've seen customers, just at a store, I've seen customers go nuts when they're not getting their way because the business owner, something didn't go right in the sales equation. And that, they call them Karens. I don't like that term, but you know what I'm talking about. They're out of control and they want things only their way. Me is no way to do something that's supposed to be win-win. Does that make sense? So whoever's acting like a child, it's a problem. It's our problem, especially if we're sellers. And here's what I'm talking about. What's happening here is that the ground rules have not been set properly. No one told anybody how to play the game. We didn't clearly define the rules. And when given a chance, people will play by their own rules. It's just the way we're made. And so I'll give you an example. So recently my family was together and I've got a granddaughter. I've got two granddaughters. One's 2 years old and she's just amazing. And she's so much fun. But grandma, my wife, I blame her. She wanted our little granddaughter to pass out cookies to all the family. So she gave her a plate of cookies and she says, "Here, little lovely little child angel, take these plate of cookies and give them to each person." And of course, my little granddaughter said, "Okay." And she took those cookies and she sat in the corner and started eating all the cookies. Wait, no, it's like 7 or 8 cookies sitting there. We can't have a 2-year-old eating 7 or 8 cookies. And so what do? We walk over and we say, no. You can't have all those cookies. Here, we're going to take these cookies and give them to other people. Well, of course she's going to throw a fit. Of course she's going to throw a tantrum. She didn't understand the rules. She saw grandma give her a plate of cookies and said, "Thanks, grandma," and went in the corner and started eating the cookies. And when we tried to make things right, tried to make things the way we wanted them to be, all heck breaks loose, right? So what do when that's the situation in sales and we're trying to have a win-win situation, we're trying to have a win-win relationship, and one person doesn't understand or isn't playing by the rules? There's 3 things, and I've seen it happen, and I know it can work. 3 things to do. You got to be clear right from the beginning. You got to be clear about how this is going to work. You got to let your buyer or your customer, you got to let them know why you're here, how you expect things to go. You can say right up front, "I'm going to need this. I imagine you're going to need that. And isn't there anything else different that we need to talk about?" This lays out the expected behavior. This lays out what is the intent of the meeting or the purpose that you guys are getting together. That's it. The second thing is that you have to set your intended outcome. What does success look like for you? What does success look like for the buyer or for the customer? What needs to happen to make everybody happy? Because when you realize that right from the beginning, you can start acting that way, and you can tell when things aren't going that way, and you can both agree to go back because you agreed to the rules in the very beginning. And so it's okay to do that. And that leads us to the third step. The third step is, don't be a child yourself. When the buyer or the person across the table from you, whether they're selling to you or they're your customer, when they won't stop being a child, it doesn't mean you have to too. It doesn't mean you have to let the little girl eat all the cookies. Sometimes you have to be the adult and you have to do things the right way. And if you're the only adult in the room, well, you have to act like it, because one thing we don't need ever is a room full of children. So if we had said to my beautiful little granddaughter right from the very beginning, sweetheart, I want you to give this cookie to grandpa, that's me, then come back and I'll give you another cookie you can give to your mommy, and then come back, I'll give you another cookie that you can eat all by yourself. She'd have nodded her head and done exactly as we asked, because she's so cute. She'd have done it right. Everyone loves cute kids. No one loves the tantrums. So if you're dealing with a child, be the adult. Make it clear. Do it for a reason and don't give in. And I promise that when your buyer realizes that you won't be treated like a child, they'll grow up fast and you'll have a relationship that's worth building on. Folks, thank you for being here. Thanks for listening or watching. And don't forget to like us. Don't forget to follow us, subscribe. We do this 3 times a week, so I don't want you to miss any shows. So go ahead and subscribe, and we'll make sure we let you know when the new shows come out. That way you won't miss a thing. Plus, it helps other people to know that this show is out there when you give us a thumbs up. So you'll find all past episodes of Purpose Under Pressure at bryanmediastrategies.com/podcast and wherever you stream your favorite shows. It's brought to you by the Ruby Group. Practical sales and leadership coaching for high pressure moments. Until next time, no matter how high the pressure gets, stay on purpose.